a simulation of the software that runs on our HMI PLC. This is a 7-inch widescreen color touchscreen. It's also it's a touchscreen / panel PC all in one. So it's actually the PLC as well. So this configuration in this video shows you our standard feeder with a single feed control. This also includes control for an uncoiler, driven uncoiler, and this works with a mechanical press, or you can even put a hydraulic press if you want in place. It doesn't really matter what the press is, but this particular code, this particular program works with a mechanical press. So this is our run screen. This is how it looks. You can start, stop the machine, your faults, and your 2 ready lights. You're running and you're ready. You can set the speed. Now you can't see the dialog box because it's a simulation. It shows up off of the screen, but I can actually enter the speed. The speed is in feet per minute. It's based on the feeder. You can't see it, unfortunately. It's out of the screen range, but it gives you the maximum that the feeder can do. You can enter a feed length that you want to run and how many parts you want. And then as they count it up, they'll give you the parts made. The uncoiler portion, you can set the uncoiler to auto or manual. This is for if it has expand. You can start your hydraulics. Now this is not hooked up to the machine, so nothing will start. But you can see the animations are pretty neat, pretty cool. I just want to see what I can put a really long length, and I can put a really long, large quantity. I believe my quantity can go up to 32,000. Just trying 33,000, it won't take it. So 32,767 is the maximum quantity you can enter. So we have our uncoiler. We have some manual push buttons for the uncoiler, the expand, the collapse, forward and reverse. This is meant for a driven uncoiler with a laser loop control traverse. This particular one has traverse in and out for the uncoiler. Then we have our feeder and press controls. So this is just getting feedback from the press, so we know the press is ready, if it's in single or continuous. Our feeder, we can have jog. We do a jog to length for our feeder as well. So if you want to do a jog to length, you can jog your feeder from here. Jog forward and jog reverse. And if you did jog it and there was a feeder attached, you'd be able to see the feeder move up here. This is your feeder value. And we have our parameters. So we have our feeder acceleration, deceleration, our feeder speed, which you can also set in the run screen because that's the speed of how fast the machine works. So this is meant to run on a feeder with a punch standalone, feeder and punch standalone. And feeder speed, you can set your jog speed, your loop gains, the encoder speed monitoring. So this is if you do have an external encoder, you can use an external encoder and you can set the speed monitoring time and the speed monitoring speed per minute difference. You can set the tolerance so it'll fault out. And you have your external encoder resolution and your line resolution correction that you can do here if you have external encoders. So you can have internal or external, and we also have a totalizer. And that's your parameters. So you could switch this to a metric, an imperial, and we have a more menu here where we have a login screen, which I've already logged in as admin here. So you can reboot this PC, you can shut it down, you can turn the HMI program off, which will take you to the PC basically. That's your login, your diagnostics, which is really your I/O. This is again simulated. There's nothing physically connected to these right now. And these two screens are meant for setup. It's when we do the startup and the setup of the feeder systems, which we would do normally at our place. So in here you see we have a lot more details, a lot more functions that we would use. And we even have a metric, so we can switch the metric, and if you notice, everything went to millimeters. and all the parameters go to millimeters when you switch it, except for the resolution. The resolution works, line resolution works in inches. And that's basically our feeder control. So again, the back end screen, this is meant to be in the back end. There's a lot of stuff here. We take what we need out of here and stick into the parameters for the operators to use. The rest is in the back, stuff like motor direction, external encoder direction, whether you have an external encoder or not, you know, homing your feeders. We use this software here to simulate the feeder running. And this is our feeder control.